Hi guys, welcome to Pilates with Ruth. So today I'm doing a class that's suitable for beginners and that's going to guide you through how to breathe, how to position yourself in each of the moves. Also suitable for anyone who wants to take it a little bit further, a bit more advanced. But as always, just take it to where you feel comfortable, take a rest whenever you want. Let's get started. So, going to spin yourself over onto your back, lying down. Just relax there. Try and aim to have your feet about hip distance apart and parallel. It's hard to know, seeing as your legs are down there, you can't see what your feet are doing. But from there, just take in some deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Try start thinking about being as long and straight through your spine as you can. Really reaching long through the top of your head. So crown of your head, feel as if you're getting pulled out. And then same with your spine, reaching all the way down, stretching down away through your feet. From there we're going to work on our breathing. So one hand on your belly, one hand on front of your ribs. Going to take a breath into the bottom hand, so into your belly. Trying to keep the top hand, keep your ribs still as you just breathe into your belly. And I want you to exaggerate it, so as you're exhaling, really pulling your belly in towards your spine. And relax. Same again now, I'm going to try and breathe into the hand that's on our ribs. So try and expand your ribs as you breathe in. And then exhale out. Inhale, expand the ribs. Exhale out. Now see if you can try and keep your belly pulled in at the same time as breathing into your ribs. Then start thinking about, do you breathe just forwards with your ribs, just towards the ceiling? Can you think about breathing sideways into the side of your ribs, or even backwards, pressing down into the ground with the back of your ribs? Don't worry, by the way, if you're finding this hard. This can be quite a tricky one when you're first starting to learn Pilates, trying to figure out how to breathe into the side of your ribs and the back of your ribs. You really want to try and expand the ribs every direction as you inhale, and then exhale, feel like you're squeezing them down, knitting them together. Inhale into the ribs and then exhaling everything out. Again, inhale into the ribs, every direction. Exhale, squeezing from every direction. One last one. And then come to rest. Just place your arms down by your side. So those are two key elements of Pilates to start with. Trying to keep the neutral spine, or in some moves, trying to keep an imprinted spine. And then also how to breathe. So you want to try and breathe into your ribs while you're doing Pilates. Usually we do the exhale on the hardest part of the move. So come into rest, hands down by side. From there, you're going to curl your head, neck and shoulders up, reaching your hands past your thighs. Have your eyes just lower than your knees. From there, check, have you imprinted your spine? Try and hold in that neutral position. So a way of thinking about it is there's a gentle arch with your lower back lifting up away from the floor. So you're not wanting to press your lower back down into the ground. You want that neutral, gentle arch of your lower back. And then lower back down. So let's do a few more of those. Exhale to curl up, staying in neutral. And inhale to lower back down, staying in neutral. Exhale, curling up. Inhale, breathe into the side of the ribs as you lower back down. then come to rest. If you find you get neck ache whilst you're doing that exercise, quite often some people just lift their head up off the floor, and that can be a lot of strain on the neck. So try and curl up further, which again might make you want to come into imprint, but try and curl up just using your stomach and your upper body to lift you up rather than your pelvis tilting. So keeping that neutral, lift up further to release the neck and bring it into the stomach, and then lower back down, have another rest. From there, we're going to do a move called the 100. So you're going to curl your head, neck and shoulders up, arms reaching down by side, and then do an action like slapping water at your sides. And you're going to inhale for 5 beats, and then exhale for 5 beats. Inhale for 5, and exhale for 5. I want you to still think, I'm in neutral. Is my neck hurting? Can I curl up further? Inhale into the side of the ribs, and then exhale out, knitting those ribs together. If you want to make it a little bit more advanced, you can bring the legs to tabletop. Again, checking in that you're neutral. And if you want to take it even further, you can extend those legs out to 45 degrees. Here you really do want to make sure you haven't lowered your legs so much that your back starts arching up off the floor. You want to keep that neutral, so make sure that you're strong enough to stay what level your legs can be at. No idea how many you've done. So once you've done your 100, or if you're feeling tired, bring the legs back into tabletop, lower one foot, lower the other foot, lower the head back down to the ground and the arms, and have a rest. So from there, we're going to go back into the pelvic tilts, we call them. So exhale and tilt the pelvis towards you, to imprint. Inhale, relax back into neutral. Exhale, tilt towards you. Inhale, back to neutral. Can you let go of any tension in your neck or your shoulders? Then start thinking about what muscles you use to move your pelvis. Can you move just using your stomach muscles, or do your glutes want to get involved? Can you use just your stomach, or does your bum want to get involved? So try and just use the stomach and try and relax the bum, and then roll back to neutral. Exhale, just the stomach, tilt the pelvis. Inhale, neutral. If, like me, you tend to be a bit tense in the neck, even my neck and my shoulders want to get involved. Next time you roll into that imprint, you're going to pause there. Now do use your glutes, do use your bum to peel your spine up off the floor, pushing your hips up towards the ceiling. Shoulder bridge. Inhale at the top there, and then exhale, slowly reverse, placing your spine back down on the floor, and then rolling all the way to neutral. As you inhale, then exhale, imprint using your stomach. Keep imprinting. Feel like you're trying to reach your pubic bone up for the ceiling as you exhale it all the way up into that shoulder bridge. Double check at the top of the move. I'll just move my jumper so you can see. Double check at the top of the move you haven't gone into that neutral, so you're really reaching up with your pubic bone up towards the ceiling. Also, you want to check that you're not over pressing up towards the ceiling. You want to keep your ribs, or think about the backs of your shoulders pinned down to the ground, even near your bra strap. Try and push that down into the ground. So bra strap's going down, pubic bone's going up at the same time. Has that made your knees veer out? Try and keep them in to shoulder hip distance apart. Slowly reverse as you exhale, lowering the spine all the way back down. Inhale at the bottom, Exhale, imprint and peel up. Inhale at the top, exhale, reverse all the way back down. Inhale, rest at the bottom. Inhale in neutral. Exhale, imprint, peel all the way up. If you want to take it to another level, and try and keep your body as still as possible, you extend one leg out, place it back down, and exhale to come back down. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, peel up. Inhale, extend as the body stays motionless. Keep inhaling as the foot goes back down. Then exhale, lower the spine back down. One more on each side, or two more if you're not lifting your leg. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale down. One last one. And then come to rest. From there, I'm going to flip over onto all fours. So in all fours, you want to think about your hands being directly underneath your shoulders back and down away from your ears. And then your knees, you want them to be hip distance apart. So directly underneath your hips, i.e. not too far back, not too far forward, not too wide, not too narrow, straight down. From this position, we're going to do that imprint to neutral again. So if you think about tucking the tailbone under and then coming back to neutral. Exhale to tuck, inhale to neutral. Did your shoulders creep up by your ears like mine just did? Keep them down away from your ears. One last one. And then return back to that neutral. So we're going to take another look at breathing. So to start with, let's breathe in and out through the belly. Inhale, let it dangle towards the floor. Exhale, pull it up towards the spine. Just checking you stay neutral so you don't round the back, keeping the spine as still as possible. As you inhale, try and relax the belly down towards the belly towards the ground. Exhale, lift it up towards your spine. Inhale, exhale. Next time you exhale, pull the belly up towards the spine, up into you as much as possible. From there, we're trying to breathe into the ribs without the belly moving. So inhale, expand the ribs. Exhale, knit them together. And take a rest. If your wrists are hurting, you can come back into what's called child's pose. So pushing your bum back towards your heels. If you want, you can let your forehead drop towards the ground. Take a little breather there. This is actually quite a nice place to practice breathing into the back of your ribs. This was my breakthrough moment when I was a beginner Pilates student. This is where I could really feel breathing into the back of my ribs. But don't worry if this isn't your time. I'm just bragging about my time. Then come back up into all fours again. So from there, we're just going to do a little bit of shoulder mobility. I want you to keep your arms straight as you let your body just dangle between your arms. So almost like your chest's getting as low to the ground as you can, but don't let your arms bend. Your arms stay straight, your chest is just lowering down to the ground. And by chest I don't mean your nose, so your head can stay up in line with your body. Just taking that straight neutral spine up and down. So lifting the back of your head, the back of your neck up towards the ceiling, and the back of your ribs. And then reverse, letting it sag down. So arms stay straight. It's called a rhomboid press up. So this helps the shoulder blades on your back move around, get some mobility there. It's a bit hard to see what I'm doing with my big baggy sleeves, but hopefully you can see my elbows aren't bending, they're staying straight. My body lifts and lowers. Next time you press away, pause there. You're going to take one arm out, straight arm reaches forward, fingertips reach for the floor, and then place it back down. Opposite hand reaches out, place it back down. Keep alternating whilst trying to keep your body as still as possible. So try not let your body do any funky moves. You're staying in that neutral, belly pulled in, breathing through your ribs. I know it's 100 things to think of all at once. You're trying to keep everything nice and still. Opposite hand keeps reaching out. Fingertips tap the floor. If you want to add on, you can take the toes out too to tap the floor. Straight leg reaches out. Make sure it's the opposite one to your hand. It's going to be interesting. I'm tempted to try it, but that ain't a Pilates move. So opposite hand and leg reaches out, taps the floor. Let's make things easy for ourselves. So what you're looking out for is that your hip on the straightened leg, if you're going for the leg option, don't let that lift up towards the ceiling or rotate out. Keep them pointing, your hip bones, keep them pointing straight towards the ground as you alternate. Let's exhale to reach, inhale to return. Next time your limbs go out, whether it be an arm or an arm and a leg, from there you're going to lift it slightly off the ground and lower again. Make sure that doesn't make your spine dip. Keep that neutral still, looking straight down between the hand that's on the floor or just to the side of it as you lift and lower the arms, reaching long and straight through the spine, hips pointing straight down, and then bring it back in over to the other side. Lift and lower. One last one, and bring it back in. Sit back in that child's pose again. Forehead reaches down. Breathing into the ribs, and then on your exhale, just try and relax every muscle in your body. Relaxing your face, relaxing your arms, relaxing your back and your shoulders. Just turning off, letting gravity take over as you breathe out. Then from there, we're going to come all the way onto our fronts. So lying on your fronts, take yourself into a hands just wider than your mats, legs just wider than your mats. Forehead down on the ground. I'm just going to lift my head so you can hear me a bit better, but from there, you're going to reach your limbs as long as you can. Reach, reach, reach with your fingertips. Reach, reach, reach with your toes. Be as long star shaped as you can. And from there, you're going to start thinking about your imprint and your neutral. So now another way of describing it is pressing your pubic bone down into the ground, tucking under for that imprint, and inhale, release. Exhale, tuck under, inhale, release. Now you're breathing into the front of your ribs, into the side of your ribs, into the back of your ribs. Try and keep your belly pulled in. One last one. And then we're going to roll into imprint and then hold it for the count of 5 before we release. So exhale, imprint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, release. Exhale, imprint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release. Exhale, imprint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck under. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, release. One last one. Exhale, tuck under. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, release. From there, I want you to exhale, imprint, and just hold it in that position. You're going to take an opposite arm and leg and hover them up off the ground. Just an inch or two off the ground, still reaching long through the fingertips and toes of that arm and leg. And then inhale, release it back down. Opposite arm as we exhale, lift, hover, reach, and lower it back down. Exhale, lift, inhale, release. So alternating from side to side, diagonally reaching from opposite fingertip to opposite toe. So as you're reaching with your fingers, as that hitched your shoulders up near your ears, try and pull them down. Make sure you're still in that imprint and your belly's pulled in. And then come to rest. Just let everything relax for a moment. And we're going to lift up into a back extension, so not so high. You're looking straight down below your upper arms. Press the pubic bone down into the ground still. And from there you're going to hover both legs and lower them back down. Hover them up, lower back down. Hover up, lower back down. Next time you hover, pause there. I'm going to go into swimming action with the legs. So inhale for 5 and then exhale for 5. Can you reach longer through the crown of your head? Can you keep your body more stable? Do your glutes start aching after a bit of this exercise? If you want to take it a bit more advanced, you can hover the arms too. Opposite arm and leg go into the beats. Nothing lifts more than a few inches off the floor, so make sure you're not coming too high. Reach longer, pause, reach, 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 and then lower everything down to the ground. Come back into that child's pose again. Let's take the knees wide this time. Big toes together. Slide the arms away. Lower the forehead down to the ground. Again, just breathing. Expanding the ribs as you breathe in. And then sinking and relaxing as you breathe out. And then come on up out of that. Going to roll over onto our backs again. there again, feet by hip distance apart, flat on the floor, arms down by your side. As we were before, we're going to go from imprint to neutral. Imprint, tilting the hips towards you, pubic bone comes a bit closer to your nose. Inhale, release. Exhale, imprinting. Inhale, release. The way I heard of remembering this is thinking about if you're lying on some lovely soft smooth sand, as you imprint, if you got up and had a look at the little pattern that you left in the sand, you'd see your whole spine because you left an imprint in the sand of your whole spine. Just a way of remembering it if you need to. Neutral is your natural neutral position. Exhale to imprint. Inhale to neutral. Now we're going to do that count of 5 as we hold the imprint. So exhale to imprint, hold it for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then inhale back to neutral. Exhale, imprint. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, neutral. Just using the stomach, no other body parts. Exhale to imprint. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, neutral. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, neutral. One last time. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, neutral. So I've talked about the hips rolling forwards and backwards. I just want you to wiggle your hips from side to side. So as the left one comes up towards your shoulder, the right one presses away, and reverse the other way. So right one comes up, then left one comes up. I want to call it salsa dancing, but it's a bit of a weird salsa dance. And then come back to that straight position. So in the next few moves, what we want to avoid is that wriggle from side to side. Hands down by your sides. So in that neutral position, you're going to exhale to lift one leg to tabletop and inhale to lower it back down. Exhale the opposite leg to tabletop, inhale, lower it back down. So by tabletop, I mean your thigh points directly up towards the ceiling, and then your shin runs parallel towards the ceiling. Alternating legs, lift and lower. And I want you to think about what are your hips doing as your legs are moving. It's more of a challenge really on your core, trying to keep your hips level and stopping them twisting from side to side, alternating one side to the other. If you want to take it a little bit harder, one leg to tabletop, and then from there, keeping the rest of your body absolutely motionless if you can. Bring the other leg to tabletop. From there, toe tap. So one toe taps towards the ground and then lifts back. Let's inhale to go down, exhale to bring it back up. Can you keep that neutral? Does your back start arching up off the floor? So think about pressing the back of your bra strap, if you're wearing one, down into the ground. If you're not wearing one, just imagine you've got a bra strap on and press it back down into the ground. Keeping that press down, keeping that neutral. As you toe tap, alternate legs down. If you want to take it more advanced, you can curl your head, neck and shoulders up. Same move. If you want to take it even more advanced, you can take those legs straight. Take one out to 45 degrees and bring it back up. Double check, especially in this position, are you still in neutral? So you want to not have your lower back flatten down into the ground. One more each side. Then bend the knees into your chest. If you've got your head up, lower it back down. Just have a hug of your knees there. Take some deep breaths. And then release the feet back down to the ground. From there, crossing one ankle, over the opposite thigh. Just check in, make sure that hip hasn't lowered towards the ground. Again, you want the hips level from side to side and in neutral. If that doesn't feel like any stretch already, you can push the knee away. Or if you want, you can bring this thigh up and clasp your hands around the bottom of the thigh and hug that knee in towards your chest. From there, can you roll from neutral to imprint? Might be a smaller movement if you're tight like me. So the more of a stretch you want, you can push that elbow into the knee here, pushing it away from you. You can hug the knee further into your chest. Just take it where you get a nice stretch. Take some deep breaths into that area. And then release with your hands, lower the foot back down, untangle yourself, cross it over. See if you feel the same on the side. You can still stay level. If you get the stretch already, stay there. Or you can push the foot away. Excuse my rumbling belly if you can hear that. Push the knee away. If you want, you can hug that leg in towards your chest. Again, rolling from imprint to neutral here. Again, you can use that elbow to push the knee away or hug the knee in more. Just where it feels good. And breathe. And then lower the foot back down. Untangle your legs. Stretch them out long. Stretch your arms out long. Make yourself as long as you want. Let the lower back arch up away from the ground now. Let the ribs reach up towards the ceiling. Just get a nice long stretch. Nod the head up and down. Yes. And then shake the head from side to side. Get some rotation. Now then, come on out of that stretch. So, that's Pilates with Ruth. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you join me on my Facebook page, there's lots of offers, tips and move analysis. So come and join me, it'd be nice to see you. Bye.